Today I'm going to be watching and reacting to and writing a synopsis for Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. It is the movie version on Netflix. On Netflix, I have a 91% match with this, probably because it's a musical. Already within the first few seconds of the intro, lots of blood. He had a wife. She was beautiful. He sang a whole song about how beautiful she was. And then a man came and he was like, "This woman, she is so beautiful." So the man ordered the police to hit the guy on the head so that he could console the grieving wife and take her for himself. He entered a shop on accident, I think, and then a woman pulled him in and she started singing about how this shop has the worst pies in all of London, while continuing to make these pies that nobody wants, while bugs surround her, and while he eats the gross pies and drinks the gross alcohol, I think. She poisoned herself, and the lady who owns the pie shop knew her and tried to stop her. And the lawyer has their daughter. Judge Turpin adopted their daughter after he condemned the police to sentence him to life, and then drugged the wife, and then she was sad, so she killed herself, and then he just adopted their daughter. So now, who I assume is Mr. Todd's daughter, is singing from the perspective of a bird, or she's singing to her birds about feeling trapped, just like always looking out the window, looking at the rain, feeling trapped. So I assume she's talking about herself. The lawyer or the judge keeps her there, like he doesn't let her leave, or she doesn't feel free, or no, she knows something is off about the whole situation. But Anthony, who was on the boat with Mr. Todd when they traveled to London at the very beginning, is looking at her through her window while she sings. Joanna, that's her name. Yes, and he keeps her locked up. He has a painting that he took off the wall, and there's a hole in the wall, and he spies on her, so that's very creepy. So, I still don't know her name, but I'm gonna keep calling her the lady who owns the pie shop. She and Mr. Todd they went to the marketplace type area to see the best barber in London, and there they see the judge's henchman, sidekick, walking around, and Mr. Todd goes to pull out his knife to kill him, I assume, and the lady who owns the pie shop is like, wait a minute. So now they're watching the performance of the best barber in London. They visited the best barber in London, and there was a song about it, the elixir that helps grow hair, but Todd said it smelled like pee, and so the man is offended. Now Mr. Todd and the best barber in London are competing to shave a man's face. I found her name. I should have known from the beginning because it said her name, pie store, like it said her name, but I didn't realize. Her name is Mrs. Lovett, the girl who owns the pie shop, so I will now be referring to her as Mrs. Lovett. So the guy who lost the competition, who was the best barber in London, came to his barbershop above Mrs. Lovett's pie shop and was like, "I know who you are. I used to work for you." He was like a little lad, "and I used to sweep up your hair for you, and I dreamed of the day I could become a barber." And so Mr. Todd killed him. He just whacked him upside the head with a kettle, because he was like, "You better pay me half of what we make. I'm going to work with you. You better pay me half of what you make, or I'm going to tell everyone that you're Mr. Barker." So we killed him. The judge was like, "I've decided that I'm going to marry my daughter. I'm going to marry my daughter to protect her from the evils of this world." And of course, she showed reluctance. So the sidekick person is like, "You should go get a haircut. Then she will love you. That is the only way to get a girl to love you, is get a haircut." I'm not sure if he's going to kill him or not, but Joanne's father is there, the judge. He came there and he's like, I want to shave. And I don't think he's going to kill him because he already killed one person today. And Miss Lovett was like, that's enough for today. But if he mentions that he plans to marry Joanne, then he just might not live. So Mr. Todd was about to kill him. And then Anthony walked in and was like, oh, Joanne is going to come with me. Like, she's going to come here. I'm going to rescue her. But Joanne's father was in the seat getting the haircut. And so he's like, I'm never coming here again. I can't believe I'm not going to let any man lay eyes on her ever again. So now Mr. Todd is mad at Mrs. Lovett. Mr. Todd is mad at Mrs. Lovett because Mrs. Lovett told him to wait, like, don't kill any more people today. And so Mr. Todd is like, he's never going to come back. I'm never going to get to kill him. And now his knife is at Mrs. Lovett's throat. They just sang a song about how they're going to take any customer they can get, they're going to kill them, and they're going to put them in the pies. They just finished talking about that. So Anthony just witnessed the lawyer, the judge, taking away Joanna. He grabbed her and put her in a carriage, and Anthony was like, tell me where you're taking her. He ran out and he's like, tell me where you're taking her. And he's like, or what? Are you gonna kill me? And then Anthony ran away. So Sweeney Todd built a machine that, like, he built in his barber's chair, something that after he hurts them, he can, like, step on something that slides the chair backwards, opens this thing, the person slides out and slides down to the ground floor where Miss Lovett takes them and turns them into pies. So she hired the little boy who was working for the guy who lost the competition, the beard shaving competition. There was a little boy working for him, and now Miss Lovett has hired him. And everyone is at her store. Everyone really likes it now. Everyone really likes the best meat pies in London instead of the worst. They're sold out. All because Mr. Todd can't stop killing people to put in her pies. Business is coming in good now for Mr. T killing people and then her putting in the pie. Business is coming in good. They're chilling outside underneath the shade, and Mrs. Lovett is like, we have a good thing going for us. Nobody's gonna notice who, like, we're picking and choosing who we want to kill. Nobody's gonna notice. If they're gone, we're doing a good job. And all Mr. Todd is thinking about is killing the lawyer dude who has Mr. Todd's daughter. And now Mrs. Lovett is singing a song about how she loves Mr. T and how she wants to buy a house on the beach with him and have their friends over every Friday and get married. Okay, so we just found out that the lawyer put Joanna in an insane asylum, and Anthony cannot figure out how to get in, but she's trapped in the madhouse. So the boy that Mrs. Lovett hired now really cares for her and is kind of treating her like a mom. And he's like, nobody's gonna harm you while I'm here. If someone bad was here, I would send them away. And she's like, what do you mean someone bad? Like, are you implying something? And he really cares about her, and he's saying, nope, nothing's gonna harm you. Nobody's gonna be able to harm you. And I think she also cares about him like a child. So the boy is catching suspicions because Mrs. Lovett brought out the bag that she had stolen from the guy who lost the thing that Mr. Todd killed. She had stolen his money, and she brought it out, and she's like, go get us some candy. And he's like, oh, that's his bag. That's his bag. That proves something about Mr. Todd. Like, that proves, like, he did something to him. And Mrs. Lovett is like, oh, come sit next to me. Don't worry about it. Come sit next to me. She brought the boy down to show him how everything works. I'm gonna cry. She brought the boy down to where they make the pies to show him how everything works, which I assumed was gonna be like, oh, take on my business, you know? But then she was like, this is where it goes 3 dozen at a time, and they closed the door, and she's like, here, show me how to close the door, and he did it, and then she was like, this is how you grind up the meat, and then he grinded up the meat, and then she's like, I gotta go, I'll be right back. And the boy was like, while you're gone, can I have some pies? And she was like, of course, son, which is so cute. And then she left and locked the door and was crying, and I'm very concerned. They got the henchman. So the henchman came and he was like, I gotta look at your pie shop. I gotta make sure it's up to standards. I gotta make sure your pie shop is up to standards. And Mr. Todd was like, why don't you just come upstairs and I can give you a nice pampering? And he's like, I gotta do my job first. And then he's like, well, you smell really good. What is that? How about I give you something that smells even better that'll get the ladies? And the henchman was like, heck yeah, I want the ladies. So now he's upstairs and he's gonna be killed. But also, the boy who is trapped in the place where they make the pies is now finding a bunch of bodies and bones. So I think he's figuring out what is happening. And fingers. And a hand. And, oh geez, that's some trauma right there. The hatchet opened, and the henchman fell down and cracked his head from Mr. Todd's chair. He fell down the shaft, and the boy just witnessed it. So, that's some therapy right there. Oh no. So the boy did find out what happened. He was like, this is gross. So he hid from Mrs. Levitt and Mr. T. He's hiding from them, and so now they're searching for him, and Mr. T is hiding a knife, so he definitely planned to kill the boy. But then Anthony, hi darling, Anthony and Joanne, who was rescued, walked into the barber shop and was like, oh my God, wait here, I'm gonna get a carriage so we can go away from this place. Just wait here for Mr. T. And so now they're waiting for them, but Mr. T and Mrs. Levitt are looking for the boy to kill him. Oh no, this is not good. There's this beggar lady who was in the street, who's been here the entire movie. Joanne was hiding in the barbershop, right? And the lady came in trying to get her money, and then Joanne hid, so it was just the lady in there. Oh, so then Mr. Todd walked in and was like, what are you doing here? Mr. Todd does not know that Joanna is there. And Mr. Todd was like, what are you doing here? So he killed her. He just killed the beggar lady and sent her down the little shaft thing. And then, I want to call him Snape. That's not his name. So there's a beggar lady that walked into the barber shop that Joanne was hiding in, and looking for Joanne's money, and Joanne hid in a basket. Joanna hid. And the beggar lady came in anyway looking for her. And then while Joanna was hiding, Mr. T came in. He's like, what are you doing here? Why are you in my shop? So Mr. T killed the beggar lady, and then Mr. Todd sent the dead beggar lady down the shaft that he was sending everyone he killed down. Oh girl. And and then the judge walked in and he's like, I'm looking for Joanna. And he's like, oh yes, Joanna will be here soon. Anthony found her. All she's been talking about is she wants forgiveness. She wants to be forgiven by you. She wants you back. So he could gain the judge's trust. So the judge came in and was like, okay, give me a clean shave so I can meet her, so she will love me, right? And so he came in and he got a haircut, and now he's dead because he got stabbed multiple times. But it wasn't like the normal this, it was like stabbing because Mr. T is mad. And he's covered in blood now. So now he's all bloody, but he just found Joanne, who was hiding. He might kill his own daughter. Oh my God, he's gonna kill his own daughter. So many things are happening. So many things are happening right now. What's happening? So many things. So he was about to kill his own daughter because she's dressed like a boy, so nobody will recognize him. Oh my God. So after killing his own wife, almost killing his own daughter, he just killed a woman who loved her, a woman who loved him and was with him through all of this. He just straight up threw her into the fire. So now he is nobody, and he's a killer. And the boy who was hiding from them is now just witnessed, he just witnessed Mr. Todd kill his mom figure. And now the boy is about to kill Mr. Todd. He has the knife. Do it, boy. Oh, Mr. Todd knows. Mr. Todd knows he's there. He did it. The boy sliced his throat. Mr. T's. The boy just killed Mr. T. And it's over. That's it.